Hello, and welcome to an introduction for financial aid. My name is Christina Winstead, and I work with the Washington Student Achievement Council with the 12th Year Campaign. In this presentation, you're going to learn about the types of financial aid that are available, which application to apply for, how to apply, the verification process, and how to utilize your college-bound scholarship. Financial aid is a combination of 4 different types of aid. There are grants, which are income-based and provided at a federal, state, and institutional level. Scholarships, which are merit and income-based. They come from public and private and nonprofit sources. Loans, which are income-based, and they're also provided in a federal and private area. And then work study, which is not like what people think. I know it can be confusing to students to hear the words work and study and think that those two things maybe don't sound that much fun together, but actually it's a great opportunity for income-based funding from the federal, state, and institutional level to work while you're going to school and have money set aside that you can earn. And these jobs are on and off-campus employment. Financial aid can come from several sources: federal, state, colleges, and organizations. Federal, this is from the U.S. Department of Education and can be used at most colleges in the U.S. They have the ability to receive financial aid. Students can take their aid to other states with federal aid. State aid, for example, Washington State financial aid for residents who can attend colleges in Washington. They don't necessarily have to be public colleges, but they do have to be able to receive state financial aid. There are over 60 institutions in Washington State who accept Washington State aid. Funding from colleges, every college will have its own scholarship. So institutional scholarships are a wonderful way for students to find funding for their educational expenses. These are offered at most schools and can be found on their school websites, typically under their financial aid page. Organizations can also provide scholarships, as well as private loans from banks. I encourage you to look at all your options for scholarships. Remember, when applying for scholarships, there is no charge typically to apply for scholarships. If you're being charged to apply for a scholarship, please review and make sure that it is a legitimate scholarship. You can find a list of scholarships that have been vetted on the washboard.org. Examples of federal aid programs include Pell Grant, Federal Work Study, unsubsidized and subsidized student loans, and parent loans. The Pell Grant is the largest income-based grant. You may be familiar with this grant because it's a long-standing program. There have been some changes over the years, though, so please make sure that you check the requirements for maximum award amounts and how you can utilize this program over summer quarters. Work study is an opportunity for students to work on campus and have their salary paid by the Department of Education. Not all campus jobs require a student to be a part of the work study program. If you're interested in working on campus and are not awarded the work study program, we encourage you to check with the employment office of your campus. Loans, these can be in the student's name. There are subsidized and unsubsidized student loans available. With subsidized student loans, the student does not pay the interest on the loan while the student's in school. With unsubsidized loans, the student is required to pay the interest as soon as they start using the loan. The subsidized and subsidized loans will be listed on the student's award letter. Please check and make sure you are accepting the correct loans and for the correct amounts that you need to cover the cost of education. For parent loans, these are taken out by the parent, and there is no limit on the amount you can take out for parent loans. We encourage you to make sure the amount of the loan you are taking out covers the cost of the student's education, but is also a manageable amount. Because there are no limits on this award, it's easy to take out more than is affordable to pay back over time. With the parent loan, of course, there's also a credit check as well. So we encourage you, this loan may not be available to all families, to make sure you have other ways of paying for the student's education while you're assessing your ability to take out a parent loan. Here are some examples of state financial aid. The Washington College Grant, which is formerly called the State Need Grant, the College Bound Scholarship, State Work Study, Passport to Careers, and the Opportunity Grant. The Washington College Grant, which was formerly known as the State Need Grant, is the largest income-based grant available in Washington State. The amount depends on the type of school you attend, and there are over 60 options in Washington State. The College Bound Scholarship is an early commitment of state financial aid to cover certain college costs. Students have to sign up in middle school, and we'll talk more about this program in a little bit. State Work Study is a lot like federal work study, except for the funds come from Washington State, but the same opportunities to work on campus are there. Passport to Careers is a program for youth who are in care, foster youth, and unaccompanied homeless youth. And then the Opportunity Grant is for community college students to be able to attend the community college and receive assistance with their technical programs. Let's start with the basics, the rule of one. For financial aid, you'll be applying for one application, the FAFSA or the WAFSA. Each application opens on October 1st, and of course, just like the FAFSA, the WAFSA will be first come, first served funding, so you want to apply to get access to those funds. You only need to do one application. If you are eligible for federal aid due to your citizenship status or permanent resident status, you will complete the FAFSA. If you are ineligible for federal aid due to immigration status but eligible for state financial aid, complete the WAFSA. If you're unsure which application to complete, go to readysetgrad.org/WAFSA and complete a small questionnaire to determine your eligibility for the FAFSA or for the WAFSA. It will tell you which application to complete once you do the assessment. The first step to completing the FAFSA is applying for an FSA ID. You can do so at fsaid.ed.gov. This is the first step and provides a legal signature for the FAFSA. Please do not share this information with anyone, as it is the PIN number you will need to sign in to your financial aid application. By creating your own FSA ID, you're more likely to remember your username, password, and the answers to the challenge questions you created. Without these, you can lose access to your account and be unable to sign in for federal student aid website services. When creating an FSA ID, please only use one email address per person. Each account will require an individual specific email address for that person. Students and parents cannot share their email address. Students, please use an email address not from your school account, as you will lose access to your school emails after you graduate high school. This is a wonderful time to create an email address that will not make an admissions officer blush. So it's time to create a professional email address that you're going to use for the financial aid and admissions purposes during your senior year. If you are a parent and you would like to sign the FAFSA, please create an FSA ID to sign it digitally. A dependent student will require to have his or her legal parent to sign the FAFSA, so the parent will need an FSA ID to do so. If you are a family with mixed documentation and your parent does not have a social security number, they will not be able to sign the FAFSA with an FSA ID. They will sign the FAFSA as a paper signature page application. The FSA ID never expires, so you want to make sure that you write down your information in a safe place for accessing this account. So what happens next? Students, you're going to be applying for college admissions. Remember, if you apply for financial aid, you have to apply for college admissions so there's a place to send the money to. You'll also be responding to requests from the Washington Student Achievement Council, WASAC, or from your college campuses. Both may be requesting information. Typically, when a college requests information, they're needing additional information from you to complete your application. Without the additional information, they may not be able to process your application for financial aid. Please respond to these in a timely fashion, as they are time sensitive. The Washington Student Achievement Council maintains the WAFSA online, and they will pass the application information on to the schools listed by the student. The Department of Education maintains the FAFSA, and they will make sure that the applications are sent on to the colleges the students list in the FAFSA. Colleges will notify you of your eligibility, whether it's state aid or even institutional aid. They're also going to be there to answer your questions about your financial aid application and continue to provide you support throughout your college cycle. Remember, every year that you attend college, you will need to apply for financial aid in October, and the application opens on October 1st. Some students may be selected for the verification process. There are many reasons why students are selected for verification. There is a random practice, a standard practice, and to clarify information. It's important for students to pay attention to these requests. They are not sending you a letter because they want to be pen pals. They are sending you a letter because they need more information so they can process your application. Students can lose access to aid by ignoring these requests. Schools have different ways of communicating, so if one college sends you a request through your portal, another may send it by postcard. Please keep an eye out for communications from all your schools, and you can ask your school in which way they send these correspondence. Please send in the requested materials as soon as possible. And if you have questions, please ask. Don't be afraid. Your admissions and financial aid officers want to help you with this process, but they don't know if you have questions unless you ask them. So it's a great time to practice those self-advocacy skills and ask those questions to get the help you need to complete the process for financial aid. The College Bound Scholarship is an early commitment of state financial aid to eligible 7th and 8th grade students who apply by June 30th of their 8th grade year. This combines with other state aid to cover the average cost of tuition at comparable public rates, some fees, and a small book allowance. You'll see this listed on your award letter if you're a college-bound student who met all of the requirements. There are 5 components to the College Bound Pledge. You need to graduate from a Washington State high school with a 2.0 GPA or better, have no felony convictions, be income eligible, and that will be determined by you completing the FAFSA or the WAFSA. You need to enroll in college within 1 year of high school graduation, and you can use these funds for up to 4 years of the scholarship within 5 years of high school graduation. Are you looking for scholarships? The washboard.org is a wonderful tool to help you with that. How it works is you build a profile that matches you to available scholarships online. Once you build your profile with information like the colleges you're interested in, your GPA, the organizations you belong to, and other interests, it will show what scholarships are available upon those criteria. You can apply right online for these scholarships, and the scholarships that are listed have been vetted, which means we have researched to make sure they're legitimate scholarships. We encourage you, when applying for scholarships, to make sure that you apply early, often, and to make sure that they are legitimate scholarships. If a scholarship is asking you to pay money to apply for a scholarship, we encourage you to review that application to make sure that it is a legitimate scholarship. Typically, scholarships you pay for are not real scholarships. If you're continuing to look for scholarships, there are additional search engines available. Any of the ones listed here will have opportunities for you to search for scholarships. We encourage you to apply for scholarships all year long to help make up your unmet need. There are other ways to pay for college too. If you have a 529 savings plan that includes Get or Dream Ahead, this is a great time to research how to use that program when you graduate high school. There's also savings and working while you're going to school, and payment plans available at campuses. Remember to check FAFSA.gov or readysetgrad.org/WAFSA for the most up-to-date information about our applications. Please promptly reply to all emails and correspondence from WASAC, the Washington Student Achievement Council, or your prospective colleges, and reapply every single year. If you need some resources to help you with this process, you can go to readysetgrad.org/12th year. There's a workbook that will walk you through your junior/senior year activities for applying for missions and financial aid. There are also additional resources to help your families with this process as well. We know it can be challenging applying for financial aid, and we're here to help. You can find us online at readysetgrad.org, thewashboard.org, and get.wa.gov. You can also find us on Twitter and on Facebook, and you can always call us if you have questions. Thank you so much for learning about financial aid today, and we wish you the best of luck in your academic pursuits.